Hi everybody, it is Mary Jo from Mary Jo's Creations. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing and watching and being here. It's so awesome. I want to thank you to all the new subscribers that I have. It really warms my heart and I'm grateful for all of you. And thank you so much for returning. Those of y'all who come back and watch my videos, you have no idea how much joy it brings me. But anyway, today we are going to continue to be making bags because I do have to get these finished as soon as possible so I can get them to where they need to go. Now, if you saw yesterday's or the last video, because this one's going to come out on Monday, I think. If you saw the last video, I did have more of the bag done, but I didn't like the way it was coming out. And I'm still not sure if I like the way this one is coming out. I'm trying to make something new, right? But I don't know if I like it. I'm not sure if I like it yet. And I did I did frog it back because I wanted to try something new. But I don't know if I like the way this is going. And I actually think that I want to add maybe one more round to the bottom to make it a little bit wider on the bottom. You know, like, I don't know. I've been sitting here ripping it back. I've been working on this morning. And it's just, for some reason, it's not coming out the way I want it to. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think I do want it a little bit wider. So we're going to add one more row. We're going to add one more row to the base because this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you know what? I'm going to go and actually go to 10. And see how that looks. And then try to figure out how to not decrease, because I don't want to decrease the top, right? But I do want it to start like closing in, right? To make the bag. Now I figured out how to do that. But as I was doing that, it looked like it was too small. That's why I want to make the base just a little bit bigger. And so, like I said, what I think I'm going to do is add 2 more rounds to the granny square. Now, I already have the yarn tied on, right? Because I did start to do that. So this is going to be like a Mary Jo project where, you know, it's just going to change color in the middle somewhere. I don't know where. But we're going to find out soon enough, because I think I was up like 4 rows before, like rounds before I figured out, you know, when I added the other color, because we're going back and forth with the gray and this teal color, which I think is very pretty. And, you know, I'm still also on the fence with making this in acrylic. But since this is a sturdier acrylic, a thicker acrylic, and while, yes, it does have stretch, it's not as much as the, like, Big Twist, which is a thinner one, and it's, I don't know, I always think that bags are made better when they're in cotton. The only reason I started making them in acrylic was because I made that tote bag, which I do need to make more of, but those take a lot longer. So I wanted to have some of these. And again, I'm a little iffy on whether I want to make them in acrylic or not, but we're just going to go with it. and see. And then I'm also going to make some in cotton, if my hands start cooperating, because again, it's just for some reason the cotton is a little bit harder on my hands. Also, like, I don't know, I'm still like on the fence whether I want to make this and, make them in acrylic permanently. Um, but I will see what happens. I I do want to make these, and I mean, honestly, y'all, I don't even know anymore. I mean, things change, right? Like, you're once I started working more and more with different kinds of yarn, I realized that it's not so much like making things in, what am I trying to say? I don't know. Not all acrylic yarn is the same, right? Not only because of the thickness, but from brand to brand and the way that it's made. And when I started making these things, I didn't know that. I didn't understand that because I had never, done anything like that before. I always, when I didn't know really much about yarn and I had only worked with, what I could find in the beginning. Now that I know more about it and I know that there's different constructions, each yarn brand is different, it gives me a better understanding. And this yarn, the Loops and Threads yarn, and like the Red Heart Super Saver, which I can't use, it just, it burns my hands when I try to use it. I don't like it. It's that one, and there was another one that I bought when I first started crocheting, which was, I think it was the Lion brand, the Vanna White yarn. I can't use that either. It really does burn my hands. I don't like the way it feels. This yarn, I love this yarn. I do use this yarn a lot, but I use this yarn when I want something that's going to be thicker and more sturdy, right? Like, what do you call that? Like a thick cardigan, or actually, it's kind of growing on me, the bags, because I did use this mixed with the mainstay, which is kind of like the Red Heart, but I can use the mainstay, and it's like I've always, it's like a rope construction. And when, yes, there is stretch, it's not as much, I noticed, as like other yarn, like the Big Twist, or what's that called? The Premier yarn. That yarn to me is a lot more fluffy and, a little bit more give. Just like the, from what I remember, because I've only used it like once or twice, the Hobby Lobby yarn. But actually, what do you think? Do you think that that's big enough? I think that might be big enough. And while, yes, this is similar to the construction for my cotton market bag, it is different. I'm not doing it the same way. I think I am going to go around one more time. and then start building up the walls of the bag. But I've been debating all since last night whether I wanted to continue making these bags in acrylic. And obviously, like, these would be a little bit cheaper than the cotton ones, so we can have like a variation, right? And that's what I'm going for. Like, if you want something in acrylic, which the bag would be a little bit more affordable than with the cotton yarn, because the cotton yarn is, you know, more expensive. And I've just been debating with myself, so I thought that I would share it with you. If you have opinions on it, I would be more than happy to hear them. But that's what we're going to be working on today. Today, Friday, the, I don't know, 8th, I think. We are going to be working on bags and hopefully get some of these done today. Because I'm also debating on, I'm going to keep that one. The one that's the 2 different colored squares. I am going to do one in that. But I think that's the only one that I'm going to do in that yarn, because it is going to be like a just a regular pouch bag, right? Like the brown one that I did, like this one. I have it right here. And this one, there's not going to be much give in this style, right? Because of the way the border is around it, it's not going to have much give. So I'm okay with that style in acrylic. It's just this style that I am really, like, on the fence about. And we are just going to see what's going to happen. Because that market bag that I make, that one does take me quite a long time to make it. So those bags are a little bit more expensive. And I was trying to be a little too ambitious when I first started making them, wanting to make them in all different sizes. And the big ones, although they are great for beach bags, they can get a little pricey because of all the yarn that I use. It takes a lot of yarn and the time that it takes me. But anyway, we are going to try and figure this all out. I do have those up on my website just to, like, you know, if anyone likes them, if that's what you want. I'm still, like, trying to find my bearings, right? And it's getting a little more difficult because there's so many things going on in my head. And I know I've said it before, I was put in a position where I felt like I had to make some stuff and it wasn't coming out the way, like, it wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. And although I love the stuff that I make, I also want to have a better handle on it. I would like to have patterns down the right way before I really start making stuff. And I know that sounds crazy because everything changes, right? You might find a better way to do it. That's why I left those things up. But I want to try and do things a little bit different. A little more my style, a little more, you know, me, versus what is already out there. And I don't know if that makes sense to any of you. But what I want to start doing is really focusing on my designs that I want to make, changing up some stuff, recreating my patterns, and taking things and doing them the right way for me. And I think it's good to have a variety where maybe, looking at this and the tote bag that I made out of acrylic and things like that, having a variety. It's okay. I'm trying to convince myself, I guess, that it's okay if some things are made out of cotton and some things are made out of acrylic. It all depends on just like it depends on the type of cotton you use, it also depends on the type of acrylic you use, right? And that's what I'm starting to see. Because, see, I have this one here. This is a piece that I took to, see, this is a little more bouncy. Whereas this one, not so much. And I'm still learning that, right? Because I think we're always learning. But I think that, what I want to try and figure out is what materials to use for what styles and what things I want to make. And go from there. What I think that this yarn is really good for, I'm starting to think that it's going to be okay for these kinds of bags, just like the mainstay is okay for the tote bags. I also think that this yarn is good for heavy duty things, like that coat that I made, the green moss jacket that I have. I want to try and make one of those out of the loops and threads and see how that goes. And I think that this yarn is better for things that I want that are heavy duty. Like the jacket, like another cardigan that I want to make, which I still have to find the original one, the first cardigan that I ever made. That's it's done all in one piece, just like that one, except it goes around this way instead of going this way, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to start here, closing it up to do the walls, right? And, I just wanted to chat with you. I know to some people I might sound like a crazy person because just of the way my brain works, the ADHD sometimes is really, something. But, I know that there are some of you out there who understand me. And, I am also the type of person that I like talking things out. Because sometimes, I see things one way, and that's how I see them until I'm shown or I find something else, right? Just like with the other yarn, what I like to call the fancy yarn, I know not to use that. Actually, that yarn might be good to make bags, which is what I made the conical hat out of. And I sometimes talking things out helps me figure things out. And if I'm gonna, sit here and talk to myself, I might as well talk to you. So if there's something that I say that sounds completely bananas, just let me know. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so so 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna do 4, and that's right in the middle. Okay. So we're going to do 4 on each side. And I want to like pinch it in the middle. And you'll see what I'm saying in just a second. I just thought that the base needed to be just a little bit bigger. So we're going to just put 1 there. And we're going to do it this way. Because I don't want to make it too big. But I don't want to make it too small either, you know. I do want to make a few of those tote bags because I think those would really go well. But those do take me a little bit longer to make. So we want to make sure that, we have some of these done before we get into making some of those. I do think I might take the pink one though. And, okay, that's kind of, I think, what I want to do. Now we're going to put 3 in here. And then we're going to go here, and that's going to build up the wall. And it's just going to be like a nice, like a market bag, kind of. The totes are going to be good for solid. Like, you could throw anything in there. And like I said, unless you're throwing in like a yarning needle, nothing's going to come out of those. These are more like market bags, right? And I think these would do well. Now, I haven't timed myself, so I don't know how long this takes me. But hold on, guys. I will be right back. Okay, hey guys. So it's late. I'm sorry about before. I got a phone call that I had to take. Now, I've been trying to do this bag all day. I'm so frustrated with myself because I should have known better than to try a brand new bag when I want to get bags done to take to where I have to go. But, in typical Mary Jo fashion, that's exactly what I did. And I just realized something, so I'm going to try again. I'm not ripping the whole thing out, right? The base is exactly what I want it to be. I just have to redo the, the walls. So, we are going to rip this back to the base square, which we're almost there. And then we are going to try something new. Now, I'm sorry I didn't film earlier, but literally this is like maybe the 6th or 7th time that I'm taking this fucking bag apart. Like, honestly, it's just getting to the point where it's driving me completely insane. So, this is going to be the last time I'm trying it. If I can't get the bag the way that I want to get it this time, then we are going to work on the other bags. And then we will come back to this one once I have bags done and ready to go. And that's just how it's going to be. Because I was supposed to have some bags done today, and instead I've taken this apart about 6 times. And that is, that is what it is when you create, right? But it's really, like, frustrating me now because I could have sworn I had it, and guess what? I didn't. But let's try one more time.
This top for 5 seconds. I'm going to make some scrunchies because I need pictures of them for some reason.
And this is going to be kind of quick, right? Like,
well, I have a lot of pictures of scrunchies because I was selling them.
Once I start building up the bag, once I see that this is going to work, it should work up quickly. Because it was working up quickly. It just wasn't looking the way I wanted it to look. It wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. So
as we know.
1,
But I
2,
already have
3,
pictures of the
4.
green, so I'm
It
not gonna
should
make
be
the
on the
green
fifth
ones. I have this
one,
mint
right?
color as well, but I have
1,
pictures of
2,
the mint, so
3,
I'm not gonna
4.
make the
Yes.
mint.
So
I'm going to
1,
make pink and red.
2,
So I have pictures of pink, but it's not the same pink. It's this pink.
3.
Which these are very obviously different, so I need to make a few scrunchies with this and take pictures of those. And then I also have this pink, which is another different
4.
shade of
Okay.
pink.
Sorry, hold on. I was
Then
watching
all three of
Passionate
these are
Kelsey.
different.
I'm gonna pause it because it's loud. Okay, so I wasn't going, like I said, I didn't turn on the camera because number one, I was doing something, but the real reason is that every time I would start going, I would end up taking it apart, and it was just frustrating me. Every time I thought it was going okay and I was about to, start filming, I would have to end up ripping it out. And I kind of didn't want to do that on screen, because I don't know if you guys want to see me ripping things out over and over again, working it up and ripping it out. I mean, if you do, let me know, and we can try and the next time that I try and create a new pattern, we can do it, but I just didn't honestly think that you wanted to see that. But this time I was like, no, let me just film it. So you guys know the frustration that I'm going through. Now, hopefully this time it'll work. Because I think what was throwing it off was that I took apart the corners. Well, I decreased the corners. I think what I have to do is just decrease in the center of the actual square, right? So that's 1, 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5, just gets 1, and then 2, 3, 4, corner. I thought I had to take the corners out, but that's actually what I had to keep in, right? I think the initial, one is the one that's the hardest. And like I said, it was working up rather quickly. I just had to keep ripping it back. Because I tried it a few different ways and it just was not working. And it was just frustrating me. I tried it at least 5 different ways. And every time I tried, it did not work and I had to rip it out. And I'll show you the yarn barf. That's like, it looks like more yarn spaghetti. That's all I ever get is yarn spaghetti. But I'll show you in just a second. I think this is my last corner. And then I think I need to do like at least one more round to see if it's actually working. I don't know. But I guess we'll find out soon enough, right? If I have to rip this thing out one more time, I'm giving up for tonight. I really am. Because I think like 5, 6 times is more than enough. I can't even tell you exactly how many times, but it had to be honestly, between 4 to 6 times that I ripped this apart. And it's like so frustrating. Have you ever felt that way? Like, I don't know if any of you like create patterns or freehand or anything like that, but does it frustrate you like it frustrates me that when you're trying to create something and you have the vision in your head of how you want it to go, but every time you try, it just does not want to do that? Okay, so we have 3, 4, just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it looks like it's trying to do something. So I think I got it. I probably spoke too soon. Okay. Can y'all see it? And now the funny thing is, like, I originally tried to do it like, the clean color change like it is on the bottom. I tried to do the clean color change, and every single time I try to do that, and I'm not cutting it. I'm not cutting it to redoing it. I'm not doing that. This is going to turn out the Mary Jo way. If y'all are new here, the Mary Jo way is that wherever the yarn lands, it lands. We just, decide to just put it somewhere, and that's where it goes. Kind of like making my own, color changing yarn. Wherever it goes is where it goes. Now it should work up the same way all the way around if we keep going like this. I'm hoping. Because it was decreasing too much and I couldn't figure out what it was. But I think I figured it out because I eliminated the corners and I shouldn't have done that. My bad. But, I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as learning. That, it took me 5 tries or 6 tries. Maybe this is either the 5th or the 6th time that I'm doing it. Probably more like 6th or 7th time that I'm doing it. But at least I figured out every single time that I had to rip it back, I figured out a way that it didn't work and tried to do it another way. And it didn't dawn on me until you know, I was going up and there were no points. It's a square. It's supposed to have, this isn't like my other granny market bag. This one is supposed to have the points on it, right? And it just wasn't doing that, and I couldn't figure out why. And now I know why. Because I thought I was supposed to kind of decrease on the corners, and that's not what I was supposed to do. But that was my bad. And guess what? I figured it out. I will be honest. I went on, I Googled market bags, crocheted market bags. And I looked until I found a picture of, you know, kind of like the style that I wanted. And I took a look at it and I realized where I went wrong. And now here we are. Trying it one more time. Now, I just want to go all the way around. Yeah, I see. There we go. I think it is doing it now. Okay. I think it's working up that way now. So what I'm going to try and do tonight is work this up as high as I can get, as high as I want it. I will check in on a few rows. I don't think this is going to take me very long. It's been about, what, 15 minutes? Hopefully within an hour, I should have the whole body worked up. If I keep going on this path. If I don't have to rip it out again. I do have my dinner in the oven, which I should, you know, go eat at some point. I baked some chicken, so I gotta go take that out. Yeah, because this is only the second row, right? Now, I did extend the bottom. Remember, I don't know if I filmed that, to be quite honest with you. I thought I did, but I'm not sure. I'll probably only figure that out once I edit the video. But I did extend the bottom by 2 rows. And I think I did say that in a video. I mean, earlier. I did extend the bottom by 2 rows. Which we're going to leave now because I'm not ripping anything else. Like I said, if this doesn't work this way, it's going to stay this way until tomorrow. Because I'm not wasting any more time tonight. If I can't get the body of this done by tonight, or at least within the next hour, then I'm definitely putting it down and closing up those 2 bags that I have. Because I should have most definitely closed those 2 bags up first. I should have closed those 2 bags up first. Okay, it is doing now what I wanted it to do. Yeah, and now that so this one will be like the larger size bag. Or it might just be one size. I know I have a tendency of trying to make things small, large. Let's just try and make one bag at a time, right? And this will be the standard for this bag. Because I do have my other granny square market bag. But once I get the body done, I do the straps completely different than what I'm about to do right now when I make these straps. And who knows, maybe I'll change that one. I don't think so, but maybe. And the ones that I have the ones that I have already made, they are up on my website. If they sell, they sell. If they don't, then maybe I'll just keep one. I don't know. I'll just keep them and use them. Or maybe one day they'll sell. Okay. It is kind of doing what I wanted to do, and I think the more rows I add up to build up the body, the more it'll get that shape. So I actually have to, I had to use bathroom. Let's be honest. I'm going to, and my hands are starting to hurt because, again, I've been working on this for about, it was about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes before I turned on the camera. And I ripped out all this work. So I do need a break. And that's what I've been doing all day. I've been, trying it one way, working on it for, today, I think the most I was able to sit at one time was, 45 minutes or so. And I would work up the bag and then it wouldn't look right. So I would rip it back and then I would take a break and go, either check on the dinner because I put chicken in the oven, chicken legs. So I would go check on dinner and then I would come back and I would sit down and I would start again. And then, it didn't look right. So I ripped it out. So probably I started this morning, I think it was about 4 times that I ripped this thing out. We're not doing it anymore, but it looks like this is doing what I wanted it to do. So we are going to work on this when I sit down again. And I will check in with you and let you know what it looks like. Because, again, I think that the next time I sit down, I should be able to build it up as tall as I want it. Because I don't want it too tall, right? So I want it, maybe I was thinking about 9 rows high. And then seeing, because it is, 10 rows deep? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is, the bottom is 10 rows. Rounds, because they go in a round. It's 10 rounds. So I think that 9 rounds high will be good. We are going to see, but we are already on row 3. So we already started row 3. So it's not going to take me long to get the bag up. This is what I pulled apart. So what we're going to do is at least get this back on here. I think that's like what I ripped out was maybe 5 or 6 rounds. But again, they were, shrinking. So I don't know how much that's going to give me. But we are going to find out soon enough. So I will see y'all in just a little bit, okay? But we are finishing this bag tonight. One way or another, I'm finishing this freaking bag tonight. But I'll be back, guys. Okay, hey guys. I've been working for about an hour, give or take. And this is how much I got. All I'm going to do is just one more. This is 8 rounds. I'm going to do one more round, and then I'm going to start doing the, I'm going to do a row of single crochet around it before I start the straps. And we're going to figure out how I'm going to do the straps, because I'm not sure how I'm going to do the straps yet. But I think this is pretty good progress just for a little while. I honestly really like the way it's coming out. I think it looks very pretty. And I feel a little bit better. And, you know, like I spent all day, and I want to kick myself for not figuring it out, right? Hold on, which way am I going? Oh, okay. Now, I know a lot of people don't, but I do turn my work. I always turn my work. If you're new here, just so you know, like, it's just a personal preference. And that's all I think that it is, right? It's a personal preference. I think that it looks better when you turn your work. Because, you know, you go one way, then you go another. And that's how you get the different looks on each side. If you do it all the same, it's going to look all the same on one side. And I personally like the way it looks this way better. So I always like to turn my work. And for me, I think what makes it like front or back is really how you finish it, right? Or at least that's what I think. Like, I could be wrong, but what I've noticed is like where you finish it, right? On what side you finish it. That'll determine like which way you're going. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. But like if you look at it right now, like this looks like the wrong side. But as I'm doing the next round, it'll look different. It's so hard to explain. I'm sure that some of you will know what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to give you an update. We are going to, I don't think I'm going to finish this bag tonight, but I do know that the body's done. I just need to do this one last round for the body and then start doing the, like I said, I'm going to do one round of single crochet around the whole thing. Sorry, I was looking at it and I spaced for a second. I'm tired. It is rather late. It's like 11 o'clock. And like I said, I've been working for about an hour. It's 11:12. When I started working on this, it was like 10:06. But I was able to do, what, 8 rows. 8 rounds in an hour. Now, I do need to stop for today. But I really would like to do this last round before I stop. I think I'm going to, actually, I think I'm going to cut the yarn here because I want to do the single crochets and start the strap in blue. And I think I'm going to cut the gray off here. We'll just pull a little bit more out. Alright, I think that's good. We're going to snip that right there. I just like to pull it out a little bit so that way it's easier to find. And we are just going to tie these together. And that way, you know, this will be in the clusters and you won't even notice it after a while. So I'm guessing that this bag is going to take me, I think the base of the bag, that's about half an hour. So far about an hour and a half to do the whole bag. The body, right? I don't know how long the straps are going to take me. Hopefully the straps won't take me too long. I'm hoping that the straps won't take me any longer than an hour. I don't know. I haven't done straps like that in a long time. I think I'm going to do them kind of like the way I do the straps for my market bags. But I want to do them a little bit differently this time because I'm not going to tighten anything up like I did with those straps. But I'm going to, actually, I think I'm actually going to stop as soon as I'm done with this round because I'm really starting to feel it. And we can finish this up tomorrow. I think this is going to look really pretty. I will also try to do this pattern in cotton once my hands start to feel a little bit better. It's just from the fibromyalgia. Sometimes my hands get, I don't know how to explain it. They feel stiff, but it's very hard for me to like grip something tightly. It's like I don't have like a lot of control in my hands where it's easy for me to like, I can do this or I can write, right? You see how, well, I hold my hook like in the pencil grip, right? Like you would hold a pencil or a pen. And I don't really, when it's especially, that's why I like to do like these kinds of stitches when I'm like this, because it's really, it's just the single, oh wow. You could tell I'm tired. It's the half double crochet into the chain space. Three half double crochets into the chain space. And even when I go into the chain itself, into the stitch, it's because of the larger size hook and stuff like that, it's not that hard. I don't have to do a lot of strength in my hands or grip the hook tightly or anything like that. Because when my hands are like this, I can't even wash dishes. Like, they will slip right through my hands. I can't even open a bottle of water. That's how bad my hands get. And it's just from the pain. It's just from the fibromyalgia, because when I'm not that bad, I'm fine. When I take stuff for my pain, I can do those things. It's just that right now the weather's really messing with me, and messing with the fibromyalgia. And now this is one of the reasons why I wanted to tie on the yarn when I'm doing the granny stitch. And I want to go in a little bit further so I can show you. Come on. See, the yarn changes right there, but you can barely see it because it goes into the stitch. And you can't really see it. It would be more noticeable if I changed it when I was doing the single crochet. Or at least in my opinion, you know? And that's just how I like to do it. And I always like to say, like, you know, there's no right or wrong way to crochet. It's whatever is comfortable for you. Whatever is best for you. The way you hold your yarn, the way you hold your hook. If someone tells you, oh, you have to hold it this way, no, you don't. Whatever feels comfortable in your hand. Whatever feels, you know, whatever way feels comfortable to hold the hook. I can't do knife grip. I can't hold my hook like that. And that's not a grip that I would be able to handle with my fibromyalgia. But when I first picked up a hook, this is exactly how I held it. It's what's natural to me. I did try a few different ways when I was, you know, to hold my working yarn. What works for me is just sliding it over my pinky and then over my, what is that, your pointer finger? And that's what works for me. Some people wrap it. That makes my tension too tight. But some people have, you know, looser tension than others. It all depends on what feels comfortable for you. And that's why people, when they're, you know, learning, they should just try until they feel comfortable with the way that they hold their hook. Try a few different ways. Try pencil grip. Try knife grip. Whichever feels comfortable for you, that's the one you should use when you're holding your yarn. A lot of people, I've seen so many YouTubers hold their yarn in so many different ways. Even hold their project, the way they crochet. The way they hold their working yarn, the way they hold onto their project. Depending on what I'm doing for the most part, and if y'all see, I do hold my project with my fingers. And I hold my pinky out, my pointer finger out, because that just makes sense for me. That's what's comfortable for me. Okay, now, you know what? I want to try something. I mean, I know it's nothing fancy, but should I? No. well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I did put it in that one. One, 2, 3. I mean, I'm trying to think of whether or not I should. All right, well, we're going to try it and see how it goes. And if I have to rip it, then I'll rip it back. Because I kind of like the way that looks. So I'll show you in just a second what I mean. No, hold on. Okay. Wow, I just realized I wasn't paying attention to you at all. I am so sorry. Um, I don't know if you could see here. What I'm doing is, like, instead of going into every chain straight across, I'm doing like 1, 2, 3 in the chain space. Then 1, 2, 3 in the chain space. And I like the way that looks. So I'm going to keep doing it that way. But this is enough for tonight. And don't worry, we will continue this in the morning. And hopefully we will have this bag done by tomorrow. All right, guys? And I think it's going to look beautiful. All right. I'll see y'all in the morning. Hey, guys. So it is Saturday, the 9th. And I have been working on the bag. It's almost finished. The reason why I didn't film any of it is because I was doing the straps, and it's the first time I was doing them. I needed to count it out, needed to make sure that, you know, they were just right. So, and honestly, I've just been tired. It's very gloomy and like cold outside. It looks like it's about to rain. And you know, the humidity is high here, and that like makes my fibromyalgia act up, and I also have a headache. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the progress on the bag. We are almost done with the straps. This is For the outside, the actual strap, the outside of the strap, this is the last row, and I'm almost done. And then we are going to work on the inside, where I just want to put a single crochet on the inside of the bag. Now, what I did was the chain, I think I chained 75, and I did 3 rows of half double crochets. And then this is the second row of single crochets. And the reason why I did 2 rows of single crochets is because I want to put 1 row on the inside. This is the inside of the strap. And, well, technically, it'll be the outside of the strap when you look at it, right? Because it'll be on this side. And this is where your arms are going to go through. So it'll be on the outside, and that's where we did the chain. So I do want to have 1 round of single crochet around it. And if you've been watching me, you know I like to have them even on both sides, just so it looks even and clean. So that means I'm going to have to do 1 round of single crochet on that side, and then the bag will be done. Now, I was thinking maybe doing like the silver on the inside, the gray that's in the bag, just so that there's a little bit of the bag and the straps. I'm not sure yet. We're going to try that out and see what that looks like. And then we can, if it looks good, we'll leave it. If it doesn't, then we'll frog it and we'll do the rest in blue. It doesn't matter because it's not going to be consecutive anyway, right? This is on the outside, or technically the inside of the straps. So, hold on. My hands are not working right today. Well, let's be honest, they haven't been working very well for the last few weeks because this weather sucks. But anyway, okay, we are done. Love that sound. Now, this is all I have left of this yarn, and this was the only skein I have of this yarn. And I do have 1 square, which is what I was going to do for the, what do you call that? Headphones? The headphone case. So I am glad I'll have at least enough to make 1 more. Although I'm sure I'll have enough to make more than just 1. But anyway, this is what the straps are looking like. And this is what the bag is looking like. I am so loving it. And I kind of do want to see what it's going to look like in cotton. But it's not bad for acrylic, and it's not really stretching much, and I think it's because of the stitch, right? And also the straps aren't stretching much, but I also think that that's because of the 2 rounds of single crochet that are on it, which tightens it up a little bit. Now, what we have to do is here. Now, if you see, I did make the sides a little bit wider than the center, because I did want you to have more room over here because of your armpit, right? Now, I haven't checked if it goes crossbody, but I do like the way this looks. And like I said, in here, I just want to do 1 round of single crochet just to kind of like make it look a little bit cleaner. I don't know. Should we try it in silver? Let's try it in silver. We're going to tie it on. We'll do this one. We'll tie it on maybe like right here. So that way it doesn't interfere with the corner. So let's grab the gray yarn. Because I think it'll look nice with the gray in the bag, you know, because the straps are solid blue or sapphire. What color is this? Actually, it's called Reef. Okay. If you say so. All right, so let's put it right here. We're just going to put it right there. And we're going to slip stitch. Tighten it up a little bit. And then we're just going to do a single crochet. And now I'm just going to do a single crochet around this one. Now, like I said, we're going to see how it looks. If it looks nice, we're going to leave it. If it doesn't, we can rip it out and then do it in the blue. But I think this is going to look nice. Have that little, like, contrast. I don't know. It's just what I'm feeling. And if, you know, you've been here, you know that most of my crochet, especially when I'm not doing something specific, like it's something that I'm just creating off the top of my head and not having specific colors for it, it's usually whatever I feel. It's a crapshoot. So I am going to do this all the way around. Actually, this is the thing, so I want to do 3 stitches together. Make that little V. There we go. And it's just going to be one round all the way around. And we'll see how that looks. Now this will actually be on the outside, and the way the strap is, this will be facing the inside and the gray will be facing the outside. When we're done with this, I have 2 options. I mean, it's kind of like mid-afternoon. It's like 5 something. 5:25 to be exact. I am kind of tired and I do kind of need to eat real food. I think all I've had today was toast. So I might have to go make myself some dinner. Or actually, just like, I did bake chicken last night. And I think I just want to make some, what do you call that? Mashed potatoes. Because for some reason I feel like eating mashed potatoes. So now this is... We're starting on the strap. So this is the chain. I'm trying to think if I'm going to grab both. Or just one. And this is the reason why, like, I also wasn't filming much, because since it's the first time that I'm making this and I'm still not sure, like, sometimes I lose all train of thought because I'm just concentrating on what's in front of me, and then I stop talking. Okay. No, I don't like that. So we're going to go under both loops, because I think that's what looks prettier. And like, you know, whenever you're working into the chain, regardless of whether it's on one side or the other, it's always harder. It's like for me, it's the hardest part. And you have to concentrate. Because if not, you'll mess up, and then I don't feel like ripping things back and starting all over again, because we did that plenty yesterday trying to make the bag itself. And I'm not in the mood, honestly, to do that. I'm going to show you what it's looking like, and then I'm going to go work on this, and I'll come back to you when it's done. But, okay. And I should probably be counting them too. But this, just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about, this is how it's going to look. And I do like that. I actually like that a lot. So we'll have the gray on the outside and the blue on the inside. And I think I like that. All right, so I'm actually going to count each one to make sure that I'm not adding any extra stitches. And I will be back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll be back. Okay, so this bag is finished. Now, see how I did the straps? Like, this is where you put your arm through, right? So I put the gray on the outside, but the actual strap on the inside is just blue. I like that, where, like, you know, you see one side that's blue and then you see the gray on the other side. I just have to weave in the ends, and we will do that in a little bit. Right now, I still want to try and get a little more crocheting done. I don't know if I want to... I am going to do this last square for the headphone case, and we're just going to put this right there for right now, hang it on my door. I do need one more square because I have one done, and it's only 5 rounds, which is quick. I think 5 rounds takes me like, what, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. Right now my hands are working kind of slow, so I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me, but normally I think it takes me about, what was it, 20 minutes, I think. And we're going to do another square. Now, if I have enough of this to crochet it, like, wow, connect it, because the one I did for my friend, I did with, I connected it with a single crochet, I believe it was. I don't think it was slip stitch, I think it was single crochet. And that's how I'm going to do this one. Hopefully, like I said, I have enough of this color and just have it all one color. If not, I might do it in gray so that it's it kind of matches the bag in case, you know, someone sees it and they want both. At least it'll be the same. And it'll look cute, or you can have it separate. Whatever, you know. The one I made for my friend was in black because that's her favorite color is black. So she wanted one in black. I think I like doing the bags and the headphone holders, like the headphone cases and the ear pod cases, in loops and threads, because it's thicker and it's also like, you know, the structure is like ropey. I think it's better because even though it's softer, because of the way it's constructed, it's not as stretchy as like loops and wow, Big Twist, or I think the Just yarn from Dollar Tree, from Premier, the Premier yarn. And you know, I think I've said this before, especially when I made like the hat and when I made the market bag, not market bag, the tote bag for Valentine's Day. You know, there are certain yarns that are only good for certain things. Now, when I started, I honestly thought, I didn't know there was a difference between like the construction of the yarn, the different brands of yarn. I thought yarn was yarn because I didn't know, right? Now, working with it and working with different kinds, I've noticed that, you know, you use the different kinds for different things. And I don't know if I said this before in this video, but I'm slowly figuring out what are the best yarns to use for what. I'm sorry, I'm like leaning on my hair and my vision is getting a little blurry, which is not a good thing, but that's okay. I think I need some coffee and something to eat because I think my blood pressure is dropping, which is for me unfortunately normal, so it's all right. I've always had low blood pressure. Yeah, I know, I'm just a hot mess, like just a hot mess all the way around. But anyway, I am figuring out slowly but surely what yarns are best used for what projects, items, however you want to call it, that I want to make. Now, I do prefer cotton for bags. Just because, you know, it's not as warm as this is, like, you know, but it is like more structured also, depending on the cotton. But the Lily Sugar and Cream is great for bags. And it's, you know, not as stretchy. I love that color. It's not as stretchy, right, as most acrylics. But I also can appreciate like a good, you know, granny square bag that's made in acrylic. The tote bags, sometimes all you have is acrylic, right? There are people who don't like to work with cotton yarn. The reason why I wanted to try doing bags in acrylic is, you know, to show you, like, what is, if you don't want to work with cotton yarn and you want to make a market bag, right? Let's figure out the best kind of market bag to make and the best stitch that stretches but doesn't stretch as much, and the best acrylic yarn that you can use. Because I do know there are people who don't like to make use cotton yarn. Now, if you're making like dishcloths or scrubbies or anything like that, then you're going to have to work with cotton yarn. I would not recommend at all to make that stuff in acrylic, because especially if you're doing like what do you call that? Like what I have in the center of my table, and like, you know, the coasters, that centerpiece, placemats, anything that you might put something very hot on that can possibly melt, you don't want to use acrylic. Even though, like, yes, if like you brush up acrylic on flame or something like that, it's not going to catch fire. But you don't want to put a hot pot on it, and then when you go to lift up your pot, it's like melted to the bottom of your pot. You know what I mean? Like, so that is something where you're going to have to use cotton. There is, although I love Lily Sugar and Cream, I love working with Lily Sugar and Cream. And when you wash it, kind of like Red Heart, I've never used Red Heart to that extent where I've actually made something and washed it and used it. But I hear people say that Red Heart, once you wash it, it does get soft. Well, Lily Sugar and Cream, once you wash it, it does get softer. And, you know, it's just working with it that's a little bit stiff. But I think that that is the best yarn that I have used so far to make anything for the kitchen, because I've tried using 24/7 cotton, and it is very silky soft, and it's not as thick as Lily Sugar and Cream. And I have a pot holder. I don't really care for it. I still have it in the kitchen, you know, like if I want to put something hot on it, I know it's going to absorb the heat and it will be fine. But to take stuff out of the oven, I really don't like it. I also have dishcloth, and usually the dishcloths I use to like clean my hands, or like even put a pot on top of it, which I have. But I don't really care for it. I tried making well, not tried. I did make a dishcloth in the Peaches and Cream Stripey, which is also softer. And I really didn't care for that either, although I would rather use that than use 24/7 cotton. But it's a personal preference, right? Because there are people out there who use 24/7 cotton for their kitchen, and that's fine. Whatever you like is what you use. But I also would like to give you, you know, I don't know if it matters, but give you my opinion on what I've used and what I think is good. And personally, you know, if you want to make a bag and you don't want to use cotton, or you don't have cotton, or you can't get cotton, you know, and cotton is also more expensive. Now, yes and no, right? Because clearly you can go to Walmart and get Peaches and Cream for, I believe this, I paid $1.97 or $1.98 for. I don't know if the prices have gone up because I haven't gone there in a while, so I'm not sure, but at the most $2 and some change, right? Whereas, well, you can also get the Michaels, which is the same kind of cotton, and I believe they're like 204 or 208 or something like that. Where Lily Sugar and Cream is more expensive. I think it's like between 4 something and 5 something a skein. Those skeins are usually, these are 2.5 ounces. Those skeins, if it's the solid colors, I think they go up to 4 ounces. If it's the variegated colors, I think they're 3 ounces. But anyway, whichever way you look at it, it's more expensive, because to make a bag like that size, you need at least 3 of these. The 2.5. I think you need about 3 of these. I haven't made one in a while, so I'm not completely sure off the top of my head, but you're going to need at least 3 skeins of the cotton. Whereas you can make a whole bag with 1 skein of acrylic, and that's, you know, where you pay $6. Let's say you get this for $2 a piece. That's $6 versus what, 4 something for a skein of the loops and threads, or $3.99 or something like that. So it is a little bit cheaper. And I know I said in the past that I will only make bags out of cotton. I now, the more I've done it and learning the different acrylics that there are and things like that, and the way they're constructed, I think that if you have the right acrylic, that you can make a bag out of acrylic and it's not going to super stretch, for you. Like the tote bag that I did, yes, I double strand it. That makes it more sturdy. Just like my messenger bag right here. Now, I won't make this out of cotton because it's not going to give me the structure that I want. But if you're making it the way I made it in acrylic, you're going to need 2 strands because you want that structure. And I'm learning slowly that it all depends on what you're making and what yarn you're using. And that's what's going to determine whether or not you have a good item. Because, again, I'm not going to use just any acrylic to make the bags, just like with the conical hats. The witch's hat that I made for myself. I think either Mainstay or Loops and Threads is the best acrylic yarn when you need to make something like that, like a witch's hat, like market bag that's sturdy, like bag like that, messenger bag. And it's just, I've been learning little by little that it all depends. There's so many things that depend on what you use and what you make. And I just, wanted to try it to show you guys that, maybe you can use acrylic. Because, yes, I did say that I would never use acrylic to make a bag. Well, I was wrong. And, again, I won't just use any acrylic. There's only, I will use, like I said, the Loops and Threads or the Mainstay. Red Heart, if you can use Red Heart, would also be a good yarn for that. Because of the way it's structured. Like any yarn that's kind of like a rope-like structure that's not as stretchy is great. And when you like making a tote bag where you're double stranding it, that's even better. Because it'll be more sturdy and it won't have such stretch. And it also depends on how you make your straps. Never go this way when you're making your straps. You want to do a nice long chain and then go back this way. Because that way it won't stretch as much. But anyway, sorry that I went off on a tangent. But I'm almost done with this square. And then I have a full set done for this headphone case. And I have 3, I don't know if I'm going to use that. But I have at least 1 small one and 1 regular size one ready to go for the pocket bags. And we're going to put those together, I think, before we start doing any more squares. So I'm going to go finish this. I do need to take a break because I'm really not feeling good right now. I just really want to finish this square. And then I will come back and show you what we finished today. Or maybe in a little while I'll come back and show you what we finished. It all depends on how I feel and how long I'm going to crochet for. But I will see y'all in just a little bit, okay? Hi guys. So, we are at the end of this video, and I just want to show you all the things that I've made so far. I finished everything up yesterday. I weaved in all the ends and finished everything. Well, to be fair, I finished like all the little finishing touches today, but all the keychains have the hardware. I attached all the keychains. I finished the beautiful What a Granny square market bag. And I got my tag on it. I weaved in all the ends. And I am absolutely loving this bag. I can't wait to make one for myself. And when you put the handles together, you see, like, when they sit together, you see the green on, the gray on either side. But I think it came out beautiful. I also put a tag on this bag. And I do love the way this came out. I think it's so pretty. The brown with the mint. I weaved in all the ends. And this is the headphone case. And then I have another small granny square bag. Granny square pocket bag. And this is sewn right into there. I have the tag right there. And I should be taking these over very soon. But we finished everything last night, all the crocheting, and this morning I did weave in all the ends. Today I haven't really done much yet. I did make one more keychain, or that one's kind of big, so that one I'm going to put on a bag, like a decal on a bag. But I am starting another one, and I should be starting another pocket purse, a regular size one that's going to be, I think, 8 rounds. But that is it for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I am so grateful to have all of you here, and today is Sunday, so I know it's a little late, but happy Mother's Day, guys. I hope all of you have had a wonderful day. Can't speak. I hope all of you had a wonderful Mother's Day, and you were all special. And don't let anyone ever tell you that you're not. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel and come and, witness the insanity that is my life. And, hit that like button. I'm trying to think, which is hard for me at times. Hit that like button, and if you want to be notified, you can hit that little bell. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you can always hit that little bell and it'll notify you when I'm on. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram if you want to, and Threads. I'm there too. But again, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay creative. Bye, guys.